Today's day 314, the Arukh HaShulchan OC. Today's Arukh HaShulchan OC is sponsored by Rabbi John Abraham. If you would like to sponsor upcoming share of the Arukh HaShulchan OC, please contact me directly. It'd be very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Reish Yutes Sif Vav to Siman Reish Chof Sif Aleph, and we are talking about Birchas HaGoimel, and starting from Sif Vav, right? Came into the Dichsib, came in the Dichsib, they remove the Kalham, Moshav's Kenim, Yehalu, they will uplift Hashem in the congregation of the nation, and in the sittings of the elders, they will praise him. Kavim Chazal, therefore, Chazal said, it says, Kahal, sorry, you have to make the bracha from 10, Tikru Kahal, which is called a call. Utreminai Rabbanim. It says Moshe's Kenim, so two of them have to be Talmidei Chachamim. Yiguz Kenim B'Lashon Kasuv, which are called Skenim in the language of the Psukim. Umil Skenim Shnayim, and a minimum of Skenim or two. Varam Perakut Kasav Shem Baruch B'Amida. Alright, so Birchas HaGoimel is stated when a person is standing. Nearly Taimo, the Kenim Nishvarch Mibnei Asora. The Rosh explains the logic. Since you made the bracha for 10 people, and only 20 people, the Shechina devolves. Enum derech eretz yeshiv is not proper derech eretz down. Times they knew the nogel baruch brachazu achar she'ol el Torah. Rosh surmises that's why the customers become to make this bracha after one gets an aliyah. That's why the yesh mein asora is a limit, because then definitely more than 10 people. There's some people who learn Torah. V'umuma, they're standing up. All this is not an impediment. Shim Eimenim Shirabonan. If there are two rabbis there, Yotzi still Yotzi. But two are close to the gun below, so Yotzi, two writes that even without 10 people, Yotzi. Those say you're not Yotzi without 10. It's kind of like a Pirsu Manes thing. And you should make the bracha again if you made it without 10, making 10 in front of 10 without the name of Hashem and Melcholam. It's appropriate not to delay more than 72 hours after you can make the bracha. Yeah, but I believe there's no shear. With the Ebed, I don't think there's a shear. But we'll see in a moment what Mishabur says. The people who are present did not answer the response, which is connected to the Birchas HaGoimel. It's not an impediment either. B'katan ein lo levarech b'chazu, children should not make this bracha. V'noshim nogu shelo levarech, women have not made, their custom not to make the bracha. V'ein b'zeh shum tam, there's no reason why they shouldn't. It's only because the minhag is to make the bracha during the time of lading. Therefore people assume, erroneously, shein and noshim chayavas bracha zu, that women are not required to make this bracha. Therefore it's appropriate then to make a bracha. Women's supposed to make a bracha after giving birth, and of course any other, besides all the other situations. By the way, I've never seen women make the Birchas HaGoimel after trip, only men, but after a birth, so women do make the bracha. Be the women paskin like the Rogat Shavar and Rabbi Ruderman, that flying doesn't require Birchas HaGoimel, whereas the men paskin that we do. Certain men, obviously not all men. So v'nashim we could call, since it says call, we're not going to call. And it's not so tzniistic or not so comfortable. They can bracha in front of men. Perhaps these are the reasons why they refrain, even though it would be appropriate for them to do so. A lot of Mishnah Berurah in this paragraph here. Mishnah Berurah says that the 10 includes the person who is making the Birchas HaGoimel. He adds that the Magen Avraham does require that people actually learn halachas, but they're not coming to Chachamim. It says, but the every Yotze, even you're sitting down. And the Mishnah also writes that the Chachamim might, you should make the bracha in 72 hours, even if on this account you will make the bracha independently of an aliyah. If you don't have 10 people, you're supposed to wait up to 30 days because maybe you will get 10 people. Evidently, that if at the end of 30 days, well, the question is what happens at the end of 30 days when you get 10? Do not get 10 people. Zion. In Birach Echad Agoyim B'Shul Atzmo, something made a bracha for himself. His Kam Motzi Gam Mischaber had in mind also his Motzi, his friend. Shechai Bracha Zu is required to obligate his bracha. Chaver Shema Bracha Menu, and his friend heard the bracha from him. Keeping the let's bone had might be Yotze with this. Yotze feel blow on yes Amen. He answers Yotze even if he doesn't answer Amen. Came Shambar Gangi Chai Bracha Zu. Since the person making the bracha is Chai in his bracha. He can therefore emote other persons who has to make the bracha. We already wrote that you should not wait more than 3 days before making the bracha. But if you did tarry, there's no, it's open ended as long as you want. It's because like Korban, there's no end date, no expiration date. But it says it makes sense to say that if he a long amount of time passed to the point that the manner with which you said the bracha became forgotten, should not make the bracha, and you lost the bracha. In brackets it says yesh omrim ad hey yomim. Some people say you have up to 5 days only. It's interesting, going back to the previous halacha, which I missed out before, Mr. Brewer says that interesting idea here, that a woman who should make the bracha in front of 10 people, but at least it should be 9 women and 1 man, which is interesting halacha, which I don't think we see elsewhere. Hey, Kosser was saying about Ches. Kosser was saying about Shulchan OC Dalet. Idim birech acher v'amar baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher gemocha kol tov v'ana amen yotza. If somebody else made the bracha and it said baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher gemocha kol tov, in other words, I made the bracha for you, not being Mechayiv myself. The previous Sibbat where a person is Chayiv himself, and by the way, very often it happens in yeshivas, the beginning of his man, when many people fly into yeshiva, one person gets the aliyah and makes the B'chas Avema, and everybody else is Yotzei with him. We're now talking about where the miracle or the Yeshua happened for Reuven, and Shimon's making the bracha for him by saying, Asher Gemolcha Kotov, and Reuven answers Amen, Yotzei, B'chein Brich Rachmana Malka Di'alma Di'avach Lan. Also, very alternative version, which is brought down in the Gemara. Blessed is God, the Master of the world, who gave you back to us. But Amen, you answer Amen, Yotzei. There's not a bracha from the person making the bracha. You know he's not required to make this bracha. Even though, since he's making this only as a manner of praise and thanks for the favor to his friend, which he rejoices at. I'll show you the quote from the Shulchan Aruch. Explains the Shulchan. The bracha of thankfulness, it's like the bracha of on a pleasure. Somebody else cannot make the bracha for his friend. He himself is not required to make the bracha. And he's not it's not Motzi the person who is indeed chayav to make the bracha. But that's what it says here. That's not the case. If this person rejoices very much, it's also say on the saving of the other person. You thank Baruch for the favor bestowed to your friend. It's not a bracha v'noah. Amen. Therefore, if the person upon which the bracha is being made answers Amen, he's Yotzei. In this case, he doesn't answer Amen, he's not Yotzei. It's not a previous halacha where Yotzei even without Amen. Because there, since the Mevarech became Chayav in it, so therefore it's mostly others. Mashen Kan Shavarech Ba'ado. As opposed to here where the Mevarech is not making the bracha for himself, but for the other person, Amen. He has to somehow connect himself to this bracha by saying Amen to it. Which is very interesting halacha. Mishnah Berurah writes that even if you're hearing this other person making the bracha for you, you have to hear the bracha from beginning to end and have in mind to be Yotzei. Shara Tzion says that the Mevarech doesn't have to have in mind to be Motzim, which makes sense because the Mevarech is making out his own Simcha. Mishnah Berurah says this facility is there 10 people. If not, you should not have in mind to be Yotzei, and if you did have in mind to be Yotzei, it's not clear. And you should go back there and make the bracha without Shem or Malchus. I skip one here. The Mishnah Berurah says that the Gerson Gemara is the Yavach Lon v'lo Yavach L'Afra. Not just that you gave him to us, that you gave you to us, but rather, and did not give you to the dirt. Test. Let's say they derive that a woman who's chayim b'richas goyim yachal ba'al levarach ba'ada, the husband can make the bracha for her. L'chein she yolda v'yitzol min esar kora. Therefore, when she gives birth and she's saved from a danger, yachal ha'ba'al levarach shegamolech kol tov yitane amen. The husband says who bestowed good upon you, and she answers amen. There is nobody who loves her and derives benefit from the favor bestowed upon her more than the husband, because his wife is like himself. This would the Bach Abraham advocates this. The Beis Yosef and Taz are dubious about it. Nevertheless, it's not for the husband to make the bracha for the mimot's wife. And it's clear that somebody who's not a relative and doesn't like love that person like himself, kav leben, like a father to a son, or ben la'av, or a son to a father, ach la'achiv, or a brother for a brother, etc. And who makes the bracha so that it looks like your close friend. Have a bracha of atola, it's a bracha bernard, but and the other person can't be yotze with it in any event. The Mishnah Berurah writes, according to those who do make a bracha to be for their wives, if the wife is not present, she should say, Shegamal ishti kol tov. Hashem bestowed this goodness on my wife. Mishnah Berurah says it's appropriate. You shouldn't make brachas hagoyim even on a friend, even on a loved one, only on your father or your rebbe. And he writes that if he's present, you say Shegmalcha, that he bestowed the favor on you. But that person who from whom you're grateful is not from you, who bestowed the favor on my father, or Rabbi, or from my master, v'chulei. Some Mishnah Berurah holds actually like this Lamaisa, even though Arukh HaShulchan says that not so fast. Yud Kasav Avinu Yisrael Siv Yud V'Zayin. But Ashkan Tzorfas Ein Mevarchim Elo K'Shahochem Eir Le'Eir. In Germany and France, they don't make a bracha when they go to the city. City Shlochibu El Ba'Hochem Midbarios. And we allocate this bracha when they're going through deserts. The Shchi Beichayos Ros V'Listim, where there are prevalent wild animals and bandits. So the Sfarad, in Meidot HaMizrach, the custom at least was, I don't think it is anymore, to make the bracha even when traveling to the city in a generic way. Because all highways and byways have dangers attached to them, especially nowadays that we drive. But he went and the blessed and a parcel, which is for a meal. You don't make the bracha. But it's a place which is well known to be very dangerous. Even you go less than for a meal, you're chayav in the bracha. Ad kan l'shono. That's in a quote for the Beis Yosef. Arukh HaShulchan says, today, a Birz is not relevant even in distant travels. Unless you're going through the ocean or through deserts. But on dry land, in a settled place. Is not applying on the NH. We never said to make a program of Bebami and Derek else becomes from a normally distant place. For Akfilas Derek should be seen Kufyod, only to Derek Yeshkiv Amrachom Makom Koshla Basham. So I'm going to say no matter where you're going. Yudav, Oka Sabasiv Ches. Oh, the Mishnah missed. Yirav. Okas abasiv ches. Kol b'chol chol yitzorech levarech. In any sickness, you must make the bracha. I feel even if it's not a sickness of which there's danger involved. Not an internal wound. Anytime you went into bed and then eventually came down. Since they took you to a gallows to judge you, and they let you go. Makes it if it's a chronic issue, which comes from time to time. If it's not chronic, end of quote. Explains Arukh HaShulchan. Even though it's a common I shouldn't say common, it's a chronic problem which you have, that sometimes you get healed from it and sometimes you're suffering from it. Nevertheless, once you go to bed and you come down, you have to make the bracha. The belav kol shayt the misrachish nisa, because not every time will there be a miracle. Those who disagree say only make the bracha on a sickness where there is a danger, like an internal wound. This is custom in Germany on Kalashana. If somebody is sick in bed more than 3 days, so he must make the bracha. That anytime you go into bed, come out, you make the bracha. It's the Bachnel Yorabba, and Rabbeinu Harama. But I'm sorry, wrong. Some people say that the Ikar is like it says that anytime you travel from city to city, but the minhag is an Ashkenaz Rabbeinu Harama. It has to be a significant danger or a significant health risk. Which the Guru says, I think I missed one before. Which this is going. Oh, I missed this one before. The Guru says on the previous sif, if you say for somebody else, again, Arukh HaShulchan said not to, but if you say to somebody else, they say, Baruch Hashem is Baruch Li'avatlan. You don't say it's a bracha. You say it just as a thanks to Kodesh Baruch Hu. And hopefully mean sincerely. Mishur writes, the Magen Avraham says, some people say, the whole like Mechaber, that even into city travels, Mechaber is obligates a Goymel, that's Elio Rabba's position with Dina, and Chayan writes something similar, but nevertheless, you shouldn't make the bracha unless you fell into bed no less than 3 days. But if his illness is something which has a danger, even if for less than 3 days, you should make the bracha. Yud base, hani arba lav dafka. It's not specifically these 4 scenarios. It's true about any miracle, such as the wall fell upon him and he was saved. Only some just sure. He's safe from being trampled or gored by a bull. But here, if in the middle of the city a lion came to rip him up, or if thieves came to you, or night bandits, need someone who's saving them. Anything similar, let's make a gomel. Some say some say it's only before enumerated. The Tov Baruch below is best to make a bracha without mentioning the name of Hashem, and Malchus Akal shows end quote from the, I'm not sure the basis of the Ramah. In any event, he says here, if you don't mention Shem Malchus, it's not really a bracha. But nevertheless, Achronim write that you should make a bracha on any danger, when you're safe from it. The make a portion is a widespread custom, and the Shabbos should not deviate, and come Atah Minakain, and this is the minute unto this very day. You give in terms of the bracha of miracles, which we learned in the previous simon. You have to make also brachas goyim at that time. Yesh deis shows kamvur b'sifra gadol shor Rabbeinu Beis Yosef. And with opinions is brought down from the Beis Yosef. Shomer v'shem rivash. Shetzur yivar gam brachas goyim. You have to make also brachas goyim. It seems that this is the opinion which he favors. It says also that it seems the Magen Avraham holds the same thing. Simen Reish Chaf, Din HaTovas Chalom, Tainis Chalom, the halacha of improving a dream and fasting for a dream. Al Bin Chalomos Rabbi Dvarim, there are many things which are stated about dreams. That some rabbis suggested not to tell over a bad dream, not to try and interpret it. And it's not relevant. It's actually Meir Shita. So it says in Brachas, the lo mavshar dream is not interpreted. It's like a letter which has not been read. Perish Rashi. Chalom shalo pitru the dream which has not had interpretation given. Kiger shalot like a letter which has not been written, not been read. Lo tov lo ra. It's neither good nor bad. Because dreams only follow the interpretations. It says, the way Yosef interpreted dreams, that's what happened. Ayin Sham. It says there, Rava Rami. Rava has contradiction. It says, going to speak to him, to Moshe Rabbeinu, in a dream. It says, Pasuk says, dreams tell falsehoods. Low kashes. When it says, no, it's not difficult. Kanai de malach, kanai de shade. Depends if it's the book comes from a malach, the dream comes from a malach, or the dream comes from a demon. Klama, meaning, ha'isha torah. So Arukh puts a rationalist explanation of this. The person who is pure, machshos b'torah, b'yiran, his thoughts are about Torah and Yiras Hashem. B'yashin shlo mila cares, and goes to sleep without filling his stomach. Hachalom shalish kazeh, the dream of such a person, bada yesh bo mamish, it certainly has significance. Shemarim lo min hashmayim adem malachim hashom nesadam hashalim. They show him something by the malachim who preserve people, who are perfected people. You see what it says, Kim malachav itzav alach. The Komer. Avon shimam pshutim, but simple people, including us. Amshakoyim ba'avli olam, who are immersed in the frivolities of this world. Shema shedim hagemurim. Wow. The Litvish interpretation of demons here, which is that the shadim, the true shadim, are the havlei ha'olam hazeh. True demons are the inappropriate immersion in this world. Hashoidadim. Shade is linked to the word shodeid, which is a bandit. So they steal hatzlachas on the successful of a person. Hamit is the true successful person. Vabruim hashedim osuyim lekach, and the creatures which Arukh HaShulchan says also exist are made for this purpose. Lazik, to damage, lishdod, and to rob. Hatzlach hamit is true success, which is olam habadik success. Shavi daberu chalom same. Their dreams, they're of the aspera of this world and its contents aimed, they're false, aimed at mamash have no significance. Koshken also ochlim arbei korna moshen. Suddenly people eat a lot before they go to sleep. Sha'edim ha'olim b'kir bo, the moisture which goes up within him, the vapors actually. Yuvalbu ha'koch madamba, they confuse his power of imagery. They have no truth whatsoever. Most of you trend about things that you thought during the day. Pshita, it's obvious that his power of imagery, Maralo, is showing him like his thoughts during the in all these cases. There's no significance in such dreams. The Sharatzim says, therefore, following up a similar manner, anytime a person has a great anguish and then he sees a bad dream, doesn't have to be concerned because the dream is just a reflection of his anguish. Back to Arukh HaShulchan, Shmuel ki abachazi cham otavo, which Shmuel, when he saw the Amar Shmuel, he saw a good dream. Omer, he would say, V'chiyah chalom shavi daberu. Do you think dreams, speech is false? But look, see, chalom adaber, a dream, Hashem said with Moshe Rabbeinu. So that's he said when it was a good dream. When he saw a bad dream, Hava Amar used to say, Hachalomos shavi daberu. Dreams speak falsehood. V'amrusham, and it says there, the apirov marin lo tov, apirov adam tov marin lo tov. often a good person is shown good dreams. Ach b'kumo shocheach. But when he gets up, he forgets what they are. Evidently, it was did a psychological benefit, but not something which is significant, and therefore he forgets them. Ayin Sham, see there.